Okay, yeah. Your second question is, what are your thoughts on the new Ash vs. Evil Dead TV series? Well, considering I don't get stars, that might be a problem. Well, yeah, I don't get stars, guys, so I might have to, look for it online, but I'm really excited for it. It's nice to see Bruce Campbell going back to being Ash and kicking some ass alongside Lucy Lawless. Yay! But, yeah, I'm just really excited for it. Third question. What are your thoughts on the Evil Dead crossover comics? There have been some good ones, there have been some bad ones. I know they just did one with Vampirella, they just did one with Vampirella. I actually kind of liked the Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash comic. Not the sequel. Nightmare Warriors sucked. Yeah, Nightmare Warriors really sucked. First one was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. There's also a good crossover with Darkman. I thought it was kind of cool to see Sam Raimi's two original creations team up. I thought, yeah, Army of Darkness versus Darkman was pretty good. X/1 was pretty good. Yeah, I haven't read the Vampirella one yet. There's also kind of a crossover with the Reanimator. I remember that one was okay. So yeah, on the whole, for the most part, they're pretty good. So thank you for those questions, Andre. Moving on now to Nick Lenz, who asks, first, have you read any of the Evil Dead comics? Yep. Read them. They're pretty good. Well, actually, there's some hit and miss ones here and there. I don't want to go full detail, but I think sometimes it's just they go a little hit and miss here and there. Second question. What are your view on the... I already answered what are my thoughts on Ash vs. Evil Dead. Third question. Could the Reanimator films exist in the same universe as the Evil Dead series? I think it could work. I mean, hell, there was a Evil Dead... an Army of Darkness Reanimator crossover. So, I think it's a possibility. I think it could work. Alright, thank you for those questions, Nick. Moving on now to Cody Bradish, who asks, Ash meets Wolverine in a bar surrounded by Deadites. What happens? There are going to be some Deadites in about 5 seconds. I just imagine Logan and Ash walking out of that bar, just covered in blood, and just they just kind of look at each other for a second and just be like, oh man, that was good. Alright. Second question. What is your opinion on the Evil Dead remake? I don't hate it. Like I kind of said when I was previously asked about, what's my favorite film of the Evil Dead franchise, I would have to say it's not. I don't think it can beat the original Evil Dead film, but on the other hand, I think it's good as it stands on its own. I think it's a nice little I think it's a nice little horror film. I think it's a film you should, if you're going to do an entire Evil Dead marathon, I think you could start off with that and then go on to the other films. So yeah, not bad, but it's not like a remake that beat the original. You know what I mean? Third question. What is your favorite thing about the Evil Dead franchise? Just how insane it is. Just how completely batshit bonkers it can be. Just, all around, balls to the wall, flat out, just crazy as all hell. Anyway. So thank you for those questions, Cody Bradish. Moving on now to Alistair Boneman, who asks, how excited are you for the... Again, I already answered this. Very excited. Second question, have you read any of the Army of Darkness comics, and which ones are your favorite? A lot of the crossovers, really. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention when it came to Evil Dead crossovers, Ash versus Marvel Zombies. Yeah, the Ash and the Army of Darkness versus Marvel Zombies comic. I completely forgot about that. That's pretty good too. Third question, what is your favorite Bruce Campbell role other than Ash Williams? I guess I'll answer this one. Favorite role for Bruce Campbell outside of Ash. His role in Hercules. Yep. His being Bruce himself in the film My Name is Bruce. Oh yeah, and being Elvis Presley in the movie Bubba Hotep. If you haven't seen Bubba Hotep. If you haven't seen this film, it's something to behold. if you haven't heard of it, let me explain the quick synopsis for Bubba Hotep. It's basically Bruce Campbell plays an elderly Elvis Presley who lives in a retirement home after faking his death, and he lives alongside his best friend is a disabled black African American by the name of. He honestly thinks that he's John F. Kennedy, but on the other case, you're like, did they? Because he says his brain got they made him look black to survive an assassination, and it's kind of like it's left up open ended. But anyway, they both live in this retirement home, and they fight a mummy. Yeah. It's completely as insane as it sounds, and I at least say go check it out once. So yeah, Bruce Campbell is Bubba Hotep. Bruce Campbell is Elvis Presley and Bubba Hotep. Anyway, so thank you for those questions, Alistair Bowman. Moving on now to Mr. Marvel Fan 101, who asks, what is the most cringe-inducing gore moment from the trilogy for you? The tree rape scene ain't good to look at. Yeah, the tree rape scene ain't fun. Although I'm pretty sure that spawned a whole generation of hentai fans. What's another good one? I guess from the remake, there's it's kind of where the girl is kind of melting her skin off. That's a cringeworthy moment. Or when she's like cut the other girl who's cutting her mouth open. That's also pretty bad. From the sequel, not the sequel, the Evil Dead 2 Evil Dead 2 movie, I'd have to say, when Ash has to, pretty much cut her, his girlfriend's head down the middle. There you go. Some of those questions, Mr. Marvel Fan. Moving on now to Eudros Vaslores, who asks, in the alternate ending of the alternate ending of Army of Darkness, Ash sleeps for another 100 years and wakes up in the apocalypse. What if he stepped out of the cave and out there was Mad Max refueling his car? What happens next? Do they work together or do they try to kill each other? I'd have to say a bit of column A, a bit of column B. I think they would fight and then they would team up. Yeah, I think that's a possibility. Sorry to get more to drink. Second question: if Evil Dead 2 Army of Darkness were to get remade, who would you like to see as the leading man? You said Chris Pratt, and that could work. Chris Pratt would be good, but I don't know. I think those films just need to be left alone as is. I just can't see anyone outside of Bruce Campbell. All right. Third question, in a fight between Ash and the Predator, who would win? I'm going to give it to Ash because he really knows how to think outside the box. So I think I might give it to Ash on this one, personally. Anyway. Now, what was I saying? Those were all your questions. Thank you for those questions, Eudros. Moving on now to Robert Avram, who asks, if Ash found Excalibur in a rock, do you think he could pull it out? Hell no. That guy, he was called the Chosen One, but I don't think he was chosen to be king, so no. Alright, what songs do you think Ash listens to while killing Deadites? I'd have to imagine he's listening to, Led Zeppelin, or some classic Johnny Cash, maybe Foghat, some Hendrix, definitely some Hendrix. Just to name, those would be a few right there. Those would be a few of the music in his the music he would be listening to in his iPad as he's horribly killing Deadites. That was your second question. Third question: what do you think of Ash's character in the Marvel Zombies video? Oh, what did I think of Ash's character in the Marvel? I guess you mean the comic? Yeah, he just wanted to get home. Really, he just wanted to get the fuck out of there. It was a world full of superheroes, something he's not accustomed to, and now superpowered zombies? Yeah, not fun. Anyway, so think of those questions, Robert Avram. Moving on now to Noah Luttrell. I hope I'm saying that. I do apologize, Noah, if I said that last name right. All right. And your question is, have you seen the film Big Trouble in Little China? Because if you have, I would like to know what you think of a crossover between it and Army of Darkness. That would be awesome. I know Boom Studios does a Big Trouble in Little China comic, and honestly, I would love to see Jack Burton and Ash Williams team up to fight Deadites. That would be that's another great crossover. I mean, now that I think about it, I think this would be my second most wanted crossover, right below the crossover with Ghostbusters. So, absolutely, yeah, Big Trouble in Little China versus Army of Darkness. Yeah, totally. I'm totally in for it. Same with those questions, Noah. Moving on now to Andrew Varney, who asks, Ash wanders into Halloween Town, Nightmare Before Christmas, and meets Jack Skellington. What happens? I'm pretty sure Ash would be pulling a boomstick on somebody and trying to make out with Sally. I think he would just be like, "You undead." He would just be the first. Ash would just whip out, from his past experience, he'd be the one to try to attack them. Alright. So, think of that question. Your second question is, Ash reacts to the following: the Cluster, zombies from Dead Space, Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, Abridged Popo, the Daleks, zombies from Walking Dead, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, and Vegeta. I should just call it Super Saiyan God 2, because Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan is just ridiculous. So, following the Cluster, we don't know what that is, but I'm pretty sure something bigger than a planet would scare the shit out of Ash. Zombies from the Necromorphs from Dead Space, he'd be willing to take them on. Scorpion would kill him. Daleks would exterminate him. Popo would murder him. I think he could hold his own against the Walkers. And Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan God 2, Goku and Vegeta, he'd just look at him and go, "You ain't so tough." Anyway, thinking of that question. Moving on now to your third question, which is, how awesome would a team-up between Ash, Deadpool, Daryl Dixon, Sam and Dean Winchester, and the 11th Doctor be? Oh, that'd be awesome. That's like a all-out dream team of killing Deadites. There you go. Anyway, so thank you for those questions, Andrew. Moving on now to Travis Rendon, who asks, what type of cryptids or other mythological creatures would you like to see Ash fight? I'd like to see Ash fight a Bigfoot. That'd be cool. Maybe a Wendigo. Yeah, a Wendigo would be cool. That kind of works in the Deadite storyline. Chupacabra. Something of that nature. Yes, something like those. Second question. What 3 anime characters can you see team up with Ash and form a team? Okay. 3 following characters will be Sayako from High School of the Dead, Captain Levi from Attack on Titan, and Revy from Black Lagoon. Those would be the 3 anime characters Ash would want on his team to fight some Deadites. Anyway, third question. Think of the most ridiculous weapon that Ash can have or use, and how would you make it badass? I think he used a golf club once. Just put some barbed wire on it. Nothing says fuck you up than barbed wire. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Travis. Moving on now to Dylan Malone 14, who asks, which actor would you like to see play Ash and why? Again, like I said, there's no other actor I can see, and I don't mean to sound like a purist, but honestly, that's the character, Bruce Campbell's best known for, and, with good reason. So, yeah. Again, I hate to sound like a purist, but I can't see anyone else outside of Bruce Campbell playing him. Anyway, second question. How would you write an Evil Dead comic if you had the chance? How would I write an Evil Dead comic? I think what I would do, not a crossover, but as its own story, I think I would have it that Ash ends up in Japan, and he ends up in the forest of the Suicide Forest. If you don't know what that is, it's an actual place in Japan it's a forest that outlies the, is just outside, or just below, Mount Fuji. And it's a place where people have gone to commit suicide or get lost and they eventually kill themselves. And it's probably one of the most haunted places in the world. So I'd have that Ash has wandered, he's taken a trip to Japan to open up a new, S-Mart is now opening up in Japan, and, some of his some of his co-workers go missing in the forest, and Ash goes in there and looking for them. And in